So, my name is Dustin Taylor. This is Divinity Virtue. It's been a while, probably since I've done a video. I try not to do them like every day. You know, granted, nobody watches my videos, so I don't really have to worry about like content or anything. Plus, I only like to post when I've kind of thought things through or just weird things have happened in my life or, just when I want to rant and kind of let things out. So, it's been an interesting like few days. I went on a job interview, and it's for this company, which was or is, sorry, a nonprofit Christian organization that helps out the homeless. So typically, I don't think I would be the person for that type of job, but something tells me that it's for an accounting position, which would allow me to gain experience, which would allow me to see just how interesting those types of people are and their situations. It was a very interesting interview. When you walk through and they're all outside just smoking crack or meth, and they're all twitchy out, and there's a lot of interesting smells. And when they go to the bathroom, they have to leave the door open. Those guys go through a lot of stuff, so it's interesting. But the guy goes, "Oh, what do you think about working for like a company like this?" And I said, and he brought it up as the Christian company, and I said, "Well, I have nothing against religion. I said I'm kind of in a spiritual awakening where I just believe that everything happens for a reason. And I guess if I'm having this interview and you guys don't think I'm crazy and all the paradigms that I've had to go through, well, then we'll see what happens." And yeah, I don't lie in my interviews anymore. And the reason being is I can get jobs like there's no tomorrow if I lie, or if I lie on my resume, or if I do any of that stuff. But I'm really trying to be as honest as I can be, so that if like I get a job, they hire me on who I am, not who I pretend to be. And yes, it eliminates jobs because people are like, "Oh, you're a little bit too out of the box for us." And I get it. I get it. But I thought about this for a while, and I was like, the first girl I ever fell like in love with and dated, bought a house and everything. Next stage was probably a family. That probably was the next stage. But I wanted to travel. It was just like that eagerness inside of me. And yeah, like things broke down. But I can tell you, at the beginning of the relationship, and this is why I think I'm in like a circle, is at the beginning of the relationship, I landed a job with a oil and gas consulting engineering firm. And I was a document control specialist, and they were going to actually take me over to like Saudi Arabia and Qatar and help build up like oil refineries for some of the richest princes in the world. I would have been making not that much money, but I think the fact that you're hanging out with some of the wealthiest people in the world, it would have opened up doors and paths I probably would have never dreamt. And at that time, I was really young, and I decided, it was more about coming back to a girlfriend, drinking, smoking pot. So I never stayed for the overtime or like put in the extra hours and show them that I wanted to be there. Like it was, well, 9 o'clock, and it was consulting, so you were on the time. So everything you did, you have to write down your time, stuff like that. So My contract was 11 months. They got called to go to the Middle East earlier. I didn't know the Middle East cultures as well as they were training me, stuff like that. But uh, it was an interesting opportunity. So that path kind of closed. And then 3 years ago, I was going to move to Australia. When watch this. So I went back to university during COVID, and I said, okay, I'm going to do things the right way this time. I'm going to work out. I'm going to quit all my addictions, and I'm going to study to get the best grades I can get. So I started that workout journey. 400 pounds down to where I'm at now. I got an 82% average in finance. I ended up getting rid of all of my addictions. And then when that was ending, I said, all right, God, like now that this is done and I did this the right way, I said, all right, now give me the truest form of love, true connections, and a best friend, like real friendship. He gave me all the ones in the dark path. And so here's the interesting part. Is my one friend just the circles. This is crazy. So when he showed up here, he drove like how he would drive in India. And I told him, I said, dude, you're going to get in an accident here. He goes, no, I'm a great driver. And sure enough, on the very last day, even though we had our falling out, he came and apologized. We talked things out, went and played some pool. We just hashed things out. And I said, I knew you weren't going to last year. I said, it's not right for you. It wasn't your place. You didn't listen to me. I said, I know why you couldn't be my friend because if you're my friend, that means everyone else is going to judge you and you won't have any friends here. And as somebody from India, you're probably going to want to be friends with people and make friends and not just have one friend. So I got it. I understand. People don't really like me around here. I'm too clean. They know me. Too clean. I don't get up to any trouble. So they just, I don't know. They think I'm all like up to something. Whatever. So anyways, he's gone back to India. But sure enough, that night, he, it was snowing and he was driving his girlfriend's BMW. And in my head, I said, we're going to get in an accident tonight. 2 minutes later, boom, he hit some black ice, smashed up the tire, got in an accident. I was like, wow, circle events. It's like when you call something out or just say, hey, like, don't need to go so fast in this world. That's where all the events and things happen that go wrong is when you think about too fast. So, anyways, that was that one. The twin flame, she tried to add me a while ago. I think she's figuring things out. We'll see what happens. I can't probably go back to her because truest form of love or not, love should be not based on narcissism and empath. It's one of the worst like relationships dynamics you can ever have. One won't ever go up the way, and the other one's going to get walked on all the time. And so I went to the mall today, and that's another story. And this girl, same situation. She just has this guy, and he comes in her life for like every month or every other month, and he breadcrumbs her. And I told her today, I said, hey, this is all on you. You gotta stop this. She goes, what do you mean? I said, you gotta put up the wall, cut off all contact. You told him what you want. You said, if you're in my life, I want a boyfriend. I don't want somebody who's just got half their foot in and half their foot out. I said, so you gotta quit letting that door open. And I even made the reference, I said, so like this is on you. Like, if you want to put it into perspective, if you have Mike Myers and Jason and all those killers outside your door with a chainsaw and an axe and they ring the doorbell and you look outside and say, hey, I should let them in. Once you do that, you probably know the ending of your life, right? So, like, it sucks. Relationships are terrible because everyone plays these games. If you just had a relationship where you're just open and honest, say, hey, I'm dating around, or hey, I really like you, or hey, show the emotions, whatever. If you get rejected, you get rejected. Nope. Isn't that life? You're supposed to learn every emotion, like the highs, the lows, everything. And that's another thing. I thought about this and I said, all right, so my life is planned out. Okay. I eventually go to Australia. I know that. The people who I was supposed to meet, the conversations, that was 10 years ago that I knew about this. So I'm going a step further because leave me alone with my own thoughts and time to think and sobriety and no friends. Your thoughts just become out of this world as they are. What if you're programmed for every major arcana in your life? So is somebody else, okay? But what if maybe your thoughts are also and your reactions are also programmed already? So like everything that has happened, if you learn how to control your thoughts and reprogram everything, then essentially what you're doing is you're just shutting it off. It's not like you're acting dead to the world, but you're learning to limit the noise and control the situations. Things don't have to be so fast, right? So maybe you control the thought process, changes the narrative goes your way. And I've thought about this. And all of I hope my videos lead with like stories and because I'm trying to build this up. And, nobody believed me that I was going to get a six pack. The reason I showed people I was going to do it and that way I'm doing it is you have to eat lots of food and you have to move. Plain and simple. I'm not going to lie about this. So when people will see me with a six pack later this year, they will go, this person actually walks the walk, talks the talk, and has determination. And this other guy, I keep saying Africa because something tells me that I need to go to Africa. I said to myself, once I get out of debt, I'm going to go pay for a corporate license out in Seychelles. And then I'm going to start a business. So Divinity Virtue should be started by August. That's where the time frame is. It's just I'm trying to play everything step by step by step with no holes in between. I have a friend coming over. She's going to organize it so that everything is literally A to Z. So that when I do pull the trigger, it's consistency. It's been professionalized. I've worked on it. I've studied it. I've done the best I can do, and then I'll learn from every experience. So that will be the corporation start. But I just came in, and it seems like I've been talking about Africa quite a bit. I came into this connection at the gym, and he works out beside me all the time. And he was telling me about all these opportunities that are starting to happen in Africa. And I think about it, and I go, okay, if I start this corporation, which is in East Africa, and I can start working in Africa, maybe this job that I'm supposed to work for this next year, I could start helping out because he was telling me some of the places over there are so poor that people would be willing, if you were to build them a house, they'd give you 20 years of service as like a worker or employee. So as like a barter system. I have no problem figuring out a way to make something like that happen. Like I keep telling everyone I'm a social capitalist. I don't want to. I don't need everyone's money. I just want to take just that little bit, a little bit. But that little bit will always grow. But if I don't look to hit the big home run or take all the amount of money that I can take, like you see some of the people in the world who collect money as like a hobby. But if you also bring people up and they keep doing this, everyone grows up, right? That's the tree. That's the circle of life. You're teaching people how to. I got some good ideas, but this, it was just a very interesting dynamic because the more I think about this, if everything's already planned out, all these connections are coming to me for a reason. Why not just gamble? Like at the end of the day, what do I gotta lose? It's not like I got anything as it is. So that's the whole game of life. Don't run for somebody else's race. Play your own game. Because I'm gonna tell you, patience, patience is crazy for me right now. The fact that I know my ending, it's a beautiful ending. So why don't I create the gamble in the middle and see what happens? Because this opportunity, just the way it's presented, the person over here went to private school in Africa. We work out together. He came over here because he thought that he could learn law school and become a lawyer, and because education over here is a lot more widely approved than it is back home. Like you have a lot more opportunities. And he was telling me, he goes, I got cousins and family that work in this area. And I just said, well, why don't you go back to your like home country and just start building businesses? He goes, I don't really know how. He goes, I need something to like show me the way. And I just said, yeah, but I got failures and whatnot. And I said, we can do this together. Like let's work this together. Like get our debt down to nothing here, and then let's start building a big ass businesses over there. I say, if you got the connections, I can line this all up because I got some of my own connections. I'm just thinking this could be a great way to just who knows what it does, right? Like if I'm trying to do a health and wellness, wouldn't it be a nice, beautiful thing as if you eventually came to Dustin's Health and Wellness Eco Resort? Or even if it's a resort, just like a boutique area, something that has 7 to 20 houses or a gym, whatnot, just ways to show you like relaxing, get away from life and just eat fresh fruit and vegetables and see the jungle and like why wouldn't that be a nice start? Like there's a lot of good opportunities that he was telling me about. And he goes, if you got the money and you got the people, he goes, we got the resources. He goes, it's a tough country right now. He goes, but he goes, if you want to come with me, he goes, with me, everyone who doesn't have education over there doesn't stand a chance. He goes, with you, you have education. So they'll look at you a lot different and they'll treat you a lot different. He goes, I have all the connections. He goes, I can line you up with everything. And I'm just thinking, what an interesting path because things just don't happen out of the blue. He went and told his family, and his family goes, we'll let him stay with us. And I'm just thinking, this is crazy because I have half of the people I know here in this city are either electricians, mechanics, plumbers, tradesmen, construction. So who knows? Who knows? This idea goes a lot farther than I could ever imagine. I just think can't really life's already planned out, right? Like your major arcanas. So it means whoever I'm supposed to meet, I'm supposed to meet. And I believe that with everyone. So wherever the conversation is if you listen carefully, somebody's going to teach you something, tell you something. It's just what you do with that information. We all just want to get ahead, right? Like that's the game. I'm telling you. We can all just start building each other up. That's where all the money starts coming back down to you. Anyways, this was a fun little video. So take your losses before you become the boss. My name is Dustin Taylor. This is Divinity Virtue. Everything happens on divine timing. Let's help each other out. Let's grow, succeed together. I think this is going to be a good adventure, you know? Every day moving forward is just going to be a learning lesson, and it's not going to happen overnight, but who knows? Within 5 years, maybe I have an empire, CEO, family, kids, living on the beach. That's the dream. Anyways, thank you and have a great day. Bye.